Staff Sergeant Rowan Thorne stepped into the armory, and every conversation stopped. 22 pairs of eyes tracked her movement toward the weapons rack, where she paused before the oldest rifle in the facility. The Barrett M82 had seen better decades, its finish worn smooth by countless hands, scope rings showing rust spots that armory techs pretended not to notice. She lifted it with practiced ease, checking the action with movements so fluid they seemed choreographed. "That piece of junk?" Sergeant Martinez whispered to his companion, loud enough for half the room to hear. "She planning to beat them to death with it when the scope falls off?" Nervous laughter rippled through the assembled soldiers, most trying to disguise their amusement behind equipment checks and clipboard reviews. 3 Marines, near the ammunition lockers, exchanged glances that needed no interpretation. Lieutenant Commander Hayes approached her position, his polished boots clicking against concrete with each deliberate step. The sound echoed in the suddenly quiet space, drawing attention from soldiers who had been pretending to focus on their own preparations. "Sergeant Thorne," he said, stopping close enough that his voice carried to nearby personnel. "You understand this is a precision operation requiring reliable equipment." His eyes moved pointedly to the rifle in her hands, then back to her face. "Perhaps something from our current inventory would better serve the mission parameters." Before we dive into this story, drop a comment and let us know what state you're watching from. Maybe you've witnessed similar moments where someone's choice was questioned in your community. The suggestion hung in the air like smoke from a misfired round. Thorne maintained eye contact with the lieutenant commander while her fingers continued their systematic inspection of the rifle's components. The bolt cycled smoothly despite its age, the trigger pulled clean and consistent. She had fired this exact weapon 317 times during training exercises, memorizing every quirk and compensation required for its age mechanics. "I'll take this one, sir," she replied, her voice carrying the same professional tone Hayes had used. The response drew more whispered comment from the assembled team members, who had clearly expected her to accept the suggested upgrade to newer equipment. Corporal Jenkins leaned toward his squad mate, speaking just above a whisper. "Bet you $10 she can't hit anything past 200 meters with that relic." The other soldier nodded agreement, already reaching for his wallet to make the wager official. Similar conversations sprouted throughout the armory as soldiers calculated odds and made predictions about her performance. Hayes waited for her to reconsider, his clipboard ready with alternative weapon assignments that would better match standard operating procedures. The Barrett M82A1 models lined the rack behind him, their newer scopes and updated trigger systems representing technological advances that most snipers requested without hesitation. His expectations showed in the patient way he stood, clearly believing she would make the sensible choice once she considered the implications. The mission briefing had outlined targets at ranges exceeding 800 meters, with potential for engagement distances reaching 1,200 meters under optimal conditions. Wind patterns in the operation zone typically shifted every 4 to 6 hours, requiring scope adjustments that newer rifles handled with computerized assistance. The older Barrett required manual calculations and intuitive compensation that few marksmen could execute consistently. Master Sergeant Victoria Reeves entered the armory carrying deployment orders that would finalize equipment assignments within the next 30 minutes. Her presence added weight to the selection process, as her approval determined which soldiers received their requested gear and which received committee recommendations. Reeves had overseen equipment distribution for 47 combat deployments, developing an eye for matching personnel capabilities with appropriate tools. Thorne completed her rifle inspection and moved toward the ammunition selection area, where different bullet weights and powder loads offered varying performance characteristics. The soldiers watching her expected uncertainty, hesitation, or consultation with more experienced team members. Instead, she selected specific rounds with the same confidence she had shown choosing the rifle, reading lot numbers, and checking manufacturing dates with practiced efficiency. The whispered conversations continued as she gathered her equipment, each comment adding to the growing consensus that her choices reflected inexperience rather than expertise. The betting pools expanded to include predictions about her overall mission performance, with odds heavily favoring struggle and failure. Most soldiers assumed her requests would be overruled by senior leadership once the full scope of her selections became apparent. Hayes watched her preparation routine with growing concern, recognizing that intervention might become necessary if her equipment choices threatened mission success. The operation required precise coordination between multiple shooters, with backup plans depending on reliable performance from every team member. Allowing questionable equipment selections could compromise objectives that had taken months to plan and coordinate. Thorne slung the rifle across her shoulder and turned to face the lieutenant commander, ready to proceed with whatever additional requirements the mission demanded. Her expression showed no doubt about her choices, no request for guidance or confirmation from senior personnel. The confidence seemed misplaced to observers who understood the technical challenges ahead, but she maintained it nonetheless as conversations about her decisions continued throughout the armory. The briefing room filled with the rustle of tactical gear and whispered conversations as 12 soldiers settled into metal chairs arranged in precise rows. Major Catherine Blackwood entered carrying classified folders that contained target photographs, terrain maps, and engagement protocols developed over 6 weeks of intelligence gathering. The overhead projector hummed to life, casting the first reconnaissance image across the white wall at the room's front. Thorne took her assigned seat in the third row, the aged Barrett still slung across her shoulder, drawing continued glances from team members who had witnessed her armory selection. Sergeant Martinez positioned himself 2 seats behind her, close enough to continue his running commentary about her equipment choices. "That scope probably hasn't been zeroed since the Clinton administration," he muttered to Corporal Williams, who suppressed a laugh behind his briefing packet. The target complex appeared on screen, a compound of reinforced buildings surrounded by natural terrain that offered both concealment and challenges for long-range engagement. Major Blackwood used a laser pointer to highlight specific structures, explaining sight lines and potential shooting positions that intelligence analysts had identified through satellite imagery and reconnaissance flights. "Primary targets will be positioned here, here, and here," Blackwood announced, red dots marking windows and elevated positions throughout the compound. "Engagement ranges will vary from 600 to 1,300 meters, depending on your assigned sector. Wind patterns typically shift from southwest to northwest every 4 to 6 hours, requiring constant adjustment and communication between shooting teams." Staff Sergeant Reynolds leaned toward his partner, speaking quietly enough that his words barely carried beyond the adjacent seat. "Hope she's got a backup plan when that antique rifle jams on the first shot." The comment drew knowing nods from soldiers within hearing range, most of whom had selected state-of-the-art equipment for the demanding mission parameters. Blackwood continued her presentation, detailing extraction routes and contingency procedures that assumed successful elimination of all designated targets within a specific time window. The operation's success depended on precise coordination between multiple sniper teams, with each shooter responsible for targets in their assigned sectors. Failure by any team member could compromise the entire mission and endanger personnel in adjacent positions. Secondary targets include communications equipment and vehicle assets, the Major explained, highlighting additional objectives that require different types of ammunition and engagement techniques. These targets demand rapid follow-up shots with minimal adjustment time between acquisitions. Your equipment selections should reflect these requirements. The indirect reference to equipment choices prompted another wave of whispered observations about Thorne's rifle selection. Corporal Jenkins turned to address his squad mates directly, no longer bothering to lower his voice. "Anyone want to bet she requests the easy targets when assignments get handed out? Money says she'll ask for static positions only." Technical Sergeant Lisa Chun distributed range cards and atmospheric data sheets that contained wind speed calculations, temperature variations, and humidity factors affecting ballistic performance. The information required integration with specific rifle and ammunition combinations, creating calculations that varied significantly between different weapon systems. Thorne studied the data with methodical attention, making notations on her range card that differed from the standard calculations most soldiers applied. Her pen moved across the paper in patterns that suggested familiarity with complex ballistic computations, compensating for variables that newer rifle systems handled automatically through integrated technology. The betting pools expanded as soldiers observed her preparation methods, with odds shifting based on perceived confidence levels and technical approach. Most assumed her manual calculations indicated inexperience with modern equipment rather than expertise with older systems. The complexity of her notations seemed excessive for someone expected to struggle with basic marksmanship requirements. Lieutenant Commander Hayes reviewed sector assignments from his position near the front of the room, cross-referencing personnel capabilities with target difficulty ratings that ranged from routine to extremely challenging. The most demanding positions required shooters capable of consistent accuracy under variable conditions, with minimal opportunity for scope adjustment or follow-up attempts. Thorne will take Sector 7, Hayes announced, consulting his assignment sheet while the room's attention focused on the designated area. The sector appeared on screen, showing targets positioned at ranges exceeding 1,000 meters with natural wind barriers that created unpredictable atmospheric conditions. Several soldiers exchanged glances that communicated shared concern about the assignment, recognizing Sector 7 as one of the mission's most technically demanding positions. The targets required first-shot accuracy with no opportunity for range adjustment, as successful engagement would trigger immediate defensive responses from remaining personnel. "That's a suicide sector for someone with museum equipment," Martinez whispered to his companion, shaking his head as he considered the implications. "She'll be lucky to get a shot off before that scope mount fails completely." Major Blackwood concluded the briefing with final coordination details and extraction procedures, emphasizing the precision timing required for mission success. Each shooter would operate independently while maintaining radio contact for target confirmation and atmospheric updates. Personal equipment failures could not be compensated through team support once the operation began. The soldiers filed out of the briefing room with equipment lists and final preparation schedules, most discussing their sector assignments and anticipated challenges. Conversations about Thorne's equipment choices continued as teams separated to complete individual preparation routines, with predictions about her performance becoming increasingly specific and pessimistic. Thorne remained seated after others departed, studying her sector map with the same methodical attention she had applied to her range calculations. The target positions required engagement techniques that tested the limits of even experienced marksmen using optimal equipment. Her confidence seemed unshaken by the assignment's difficulty or the continued skepticism from fellow team members. Hayes approached her position as the room emptied, carrying additional sector information that provided detailed target descriptions and priority rankings. "Sergeant Thorne," he said, stopping beside her chair, "this sector presents significant challenges even for our most experienced shooters. Are you certain your equipment selection adequately addresses these requirements?" The question hung between them as Thorne folded her maps and prepared to join the preparation schedule that would occupy the remaining hours before deployment. The preparation hangar buzzed with methodical activity as 12 soldiers completed final equipment checks under harsh fluorescent lighting that cast sharp shadows across concrete floors. Weapon cleaning stations occupied one corner, where soldiers disassembled their rifles with practiced efficiency, inspecting each component for wear or contamination that could affect performance during critical moments. Thorne positioned herself at the furthest cleaning station, spreading the Barrett's components across a canvas mat with movements that suggested intimate familiarity with the weapon's mechanics. Each part received individual attention as she checked tolerances and wear patterns that told stories of previous deployments and training exercises. "Look at her babying that relic," Sergeant Martinez observed from 2 stations away, loud enough for nearby soldiers to hear while maintaining the pretense of focusing on his own equipment. "Probably trying to keep it together long enough for one shot." His cleaning rod scraped against his rifle's barrel with unnecessary force, the metallic sound punctuating his commentary. Technical Sergeant Chun approached Thorne's station carrying ammunition inspection tools and ballistic calculation sheets that required correlation with specific rifle characteristics. The process involved measuring bullet weights, checking powder charges, and calculating trajectory variables that differed between weapon systems. "What's your zero distance with that setup?" Chin asked, reviewing the ammunition selections Thorne had made in the armory. The question drew attention from nearby soldiers who paused their own preparations to listen for technical details that might reveal capability levels. 800 meters, Thorne replied, without looking up from her bolt inspection. The response prompted exchanged glances between soldiers familiar with standard military zeroing procedures, which typically use shorter distances for initial calibration before extending to operational ranges. Corporal Jenkins stopped cleaning his scope to address his squad, mate directly. 800 meters zero, with iron sights and a scope that probably hasn't been calibrated since Desert Storm? He shook his head while returning attention to his equipment. That's ambitious for someone using grandfather's hunting rifle. The ammunition inspection revealed Thorne's selection of match-grade rounds with specific ballistic coefficients designed for extreme range accuracy. Each cartridge bore manufacturing marks indicating premium components and quality control standards that exceeded standard military specifications. The selection suggested understanding of ballistic performance factors that many soldiers never encountered. Staff Sergeant Reynolds approached carrying atmospheric monitoring equipment that would provide real-time environmental data during the mission. Wind speed, temperature, and humidity measurements required integration with ballistic calculations to maintain accuracy across varying conditions. "You planning to make scope adjustments in the field?" Reynolds asked, observing Thorne's manual calculation sheets covered with handwritten corrections and atmospheric compensation factors. Most modern scopes handle environmental variables automatically through integrated systems. "Manual adjustments only," Thorne confirmed, continuing her systematic inspection of the rifle's trigger mechanism. The trigger broke cleanly at exactly 4 pounds of pressure, consistent with previous measurements she had recorded during training sessions. The conversation drew Lieutenant Commander Hayes from his position near the mission timeline board, where deployment schedules and coordination details required final confirmation. His approach created a semicircle of observing soldiers who found reasons to remain within hearing range while appearing focused on their own preparations. "Sergeant Thorne," Hayes said, stopping at her cleaning station with official paperwork in hand. "Given the technical demands of Sector 7, perhaps we should discuss backup equipment options. The newer Barrett systems offer computerized ballistic solutions that eliminate manual calculation requirements." The suggestion prompted murmured agreement from several nearby soldiers who recognized the practical advantages of updated technology. Modern rifle systems provided instant environmental compensation, range-finding capabilities, and automatic adjustment features that reduced human error factors significantly. "This rifle performs adequately for my requirements, sir," Thorne replied, reassembling the bolt with movements that required no conscious attention. Each component slid into position with mechanical precision, the action cycling smoothly despite the weapon's apparent age. Master Sergeant Reeves entered the preparation area carrying final equipment inspection sheets that required signature approval from all team members. Her presence indicated approaching deployment deadlines that left minimal time for equipment changes or additional preparations. The betting pools evolved as soldiers observed Thorne's preparation methods, with odds adjusting based on her apparent familiarity with the aged rifle. Some interpreted her confidence as dangerous overestimation, while others wondered if her manual calculations indicated hidden expertise that standard procedures missed. Corporal Williams approached Martinez's station carrying suppressor attachments and specialized ammunition designed for reduced signature shooting. The equipment represented technological advances that provided tactical advantages over older systems lacking integrated sound reduction capabilities. "She's going to light up like a Christmas tree with muzzle flash from that cannon," Williams observed, fitting his suppressor with precision threading that eliminated alignment issues. Everyone in a 5-mile radius will know exactly where she's shooting from after the first round. The observation highlighted tactical disadvantages of older weapon systems that lacked modern signature reduction features. Contemporary rifles incorporated flash suppressors, sound dampening technology, and reduced signature ammunition that minimized detection risks during covert operations. Thorne completed her rifle assembly and performed function checks that tested every mechanical component under simulated firing conditions. The weapon responded to each test with consistency that surprised observers expecting mechanical failures or performance irregularities from equipment they considered obsolete. Technical Sergeant Chun returned with final atmospheric data and target-specific ballistic information that required integration with individual weapon characteristics. The calculations became increasingly complex as environmental variables multiplied, demanding precision that newer rifle systems handled through automated processes. Sector 7 wind patterns shift every 3 hours, Chin explained, providing Thorne with meteorological data collected over the previous week. Your targets require engagement during optimal atmospheric windows that may last only minutes. The technical briefing emphasized timing constraints that left no margin for equipment failures or performance uncertainties. Mission success depended on precise execution during narrow opportunity windows, with backup plans assuming primary equipment functioned flawlessly under stress conditions. Hayes reviewed the final equipment manifest while soldiers completed their preparation routines, cross-referencing capabilities with mission requirements that demanded proven performance under combat conditions. Thorne's equipment selections remained marked for review, pending demonstration of adequacy for assigned sector requirements. The hangar's activity level increased as deployment time approached, with soldiers conducting final communications checks and reviewing sector assignments that would determine their positions during the operation. Conversations about Thorne's prospects continued as teams prepared for transport to forward positions. The transport helicopter's rotors carved through pre-dawn darkness as 12 soldiers settled into jump seats that vibrated with mechanical rhythm. Equipment bags secured to deck rings contained weapons and gear that would sustain the team through 18 hours of covert operations in hostile territory. Thorne occupied the seat nearest the starboard door, her aged Barrett secured in a protective case that bore scuff marks from previous deployments. The rifle's weight distribution required careful handling during helicopter operations, as older weapon systems lacked modern, carrying configurations designed for aerial transport. Sergeant Martinez leaned toward Corporal Williams, speaking loudly enough to overcome rotor noise while maintaining the appearance of private conversation. 10-to-1 odds she requests extraction before noon when that museum piece starts malfunctioning. Williams nodded agreement, already calculating potential winnings from what seemed like guaranteed outcome. The helicopter banked sharply as it approached the insertion zone, causing unsecured equipment to shift against bulkhead restraints. Soldiers performed final gear checks while studying terrain maps that showed approach routes to individual sector positions. Each shooter would traverse different paths to avoid detection and maintain operational security. Lieutenant Commander Hayes reviewed deployment timing from his position near the crew chief, consulting waterproof schedules that coordinated individual insertions with mission timeline requirements. The operation demanded precise positioning before sunrise, with all shooters in place during optimal lighting conditions. First drop in 30 seconds, the crew chief announced through helmet communications, his voice cutting through engine noise that made normal conversation impossible. Soldiers began disconnect procedures from safety restraints, preparing for rapid deployment that would scatter the team across 5 square kilometers of rugged terrain. Technical Sergeant Chun double-checked her equipment manifest while observing Thorne's preparation routine, noting the additional manual calculations and atmospheric monitoring tools that older rifle systems required. Modern weapons integrated environmental sensors that provided automatic compensation, eliminating human calculation errors that could compromise accuracy. She's carrying twice the gear weight of everyone else just to make that antique functional, Chin observed to Staff Sergeant Reynolds, who was reviewing his own sector assignment coordinates. The extra equipment included backup optics, manual range-finding tools, and atmospheric measurement devices that contemporary rifles incorporated internally. The helicopter descended toward the first insertion point, where Thorne would begin her approach to Sector 7. The terrain below showed rocky outcroppings and sparse vegetation that provided concealment opportunities for experienced infiltrators but posed navigation challenges in limited visibility conditions. 30-second warning. The crew chief called, sliding the starboard door open to reveal landscape rushing past at dangerous speeds. Cold air rushed into the cabin, carrying scents of pine forest and granite formations that characterized the operation zone. Thorne secured her equipment harness and moved toward the door with movements that showed familiarity with helicopter insertion procedures. Her gear distribution suggested understanding of weight balance requirements that prevented equipment shifts during fast-stroke descent or rough landing scenarios. Corporal Jenkins turned to address his fire team members directly, raising his voice above wind noise that made communication increasingly difficult. $50, says she calls for backup before her first target engagement. The bet drew immediate interest from soldiers who considered the wager practically guaranteed money. The insertion point appeared below as the helicopter flared for approach, revealing terrain features that matched reconnaissance photographs while presenting real-world challenges that aerial imagery couldn't fully capture. Boulder fields and steep gradients would test navigation skills while carrying heavy equipment loads. Go, 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 the crew chief shouted, and Thorne stepped into darkness that swallowed her immediately. The helicopter banked away before her feet touched ground, leaving her alone in hostile territory with equipment that most team members expected to fail under operational stress. The remaining soldiers watched her disappearance through small portholes, many shaking their heads as they considered the challenges facing someone with inadequate equipment in the mission's most demanding sector. Conversations about her prospects continued as the helicopter maneuvered toward the next insertion point. Master Sergeant Reeves consulted deployment schedules that showed increasing time intervals between insertions, designed to prevent detection patterns that hostile forces might recognize. Each soldier would approach their sector independently, with communication limited to essential coordination during target engagement phases. Second insertion in 8 minutes, the crew chief announced as the helicopter climbed to avoid detection radar that intelligence reports indicated in the operational area. The aircraft would make 7 separate approaches, delivering soldiers to positions that formed a coordinated perimeter around the target complex. Sergeant Martinez prepared for his own insertion while continuing commentary about Thorne's equipment choices to soldiers within hearing range. That scope will fog up before sunrise, guaranteed. She'll be shooting blind while the rest of us are engaging targets effectively. The prediction drew agreement from team members familiar with equipment performance under field conditions that included temperature variations, humidity changes, and physical stress that tested component reliability. Modern optical systems incorporated anti-fogging technology and environmental sealing that older equipment lacked. Staff Sergeant Reynolds reviewed his sector assignment one final time, noting sightlines and escape routes that intelligence analysts had identified through satellite imagery. His position required coordination with adjacent sectors, including potential support for struggling team members whose equipment might compromise mission success. Third insertion approaching. The crew chief called as the helicopter descended toward rocky terrain that provided natural concealment, but demanded careful navigation in darkness. Each insertion point had been selected for tactical advantage while minimizing detection risks from hostile observation posts. Technical Sergeant Shun gathered her equipment while observing the remaining soldiers' confidence levels, which seemed uniformly high except for concerns about Thorne's sector performance. The team's success depended on individual capability, but backup plans existed for managing equipment failures or tactical complications. Corporal Williams reviewed target engagement protocols that emphasized first-shot accuracy and rapid transition between multiple objectives. His modern rifle system provided technological advantages that simplified range calculation and environmental compensation, features that Thorne would need to handle manually. The helicopter continued its insertion pattern, while soldiers mentally rehearsed their sector approaches and target engagement sequences. Radio silence would maintain operational security until target acquisition phase began, leaving each shooter isolated with their equipment and training. Lieutenant Commander Hayes monitored deployment progress from his command position, tracking insertion timing against mission timeline requirements that demanded all personnel in position before sunrise. Delays or equipment problems could compromise the entire operation's success. The remaining insertions proceeded systematically as the helicopter delivered soldiers to positions that would form a coordinated attack pattern. Each departure left fewer witnesses to continue speculation about Thorne's equipment choices and predicted performance challenges. Dawn approached Sector 7 with gradual light that revealed terrain more challenging than reconnaissance photographs had suggested. Jagged granite formations created natural shooting positions while simultaneously blocking sight lines that appeared clear in aerial imagery. Thorne moved through the boulder field with deliberate care, her aged Barrett secured across her back in a configuration that prevented scope damage during navigation. The radio crackled with position reports as team members reached their assigned sectors and began establishing shooting positions. Each voice confirmed equipment status and target acquisition capability, creating a communication pattern that would continue throughout the operation. Sector 3 in position. Technical Sergeant Chen reported, her transmission carrying undertones of confidence that reflected modern equipment performance. Targets acquired, scope calibrated, ready for engagement sequence. Sector 5 established. Staff Sergeant Reynolds confirmed, his position offering clear sight lines to assigned objectives. Equipment functioning optimally, atmospheric conditions nominal. The pattern continued as soldiers reported successful positioning and equipment status, each confirmation highlighting technological advantages that simplified target engagement procedures. Automated systems provided instant environmental compensation and range calculation that eliminated manual computation requirements. Thorne reached her designated position as sunrise painted the target complex in golden light that would provide optimal visibility for precision shooting. Her sector commanded views of the compound's eastern approaches, where intelligence reports indicated high-value targets would appear during morning routines. She began establishing her shooting position with methodical attention to details that modern rifle systems handled automatically. Wind direction required manual measurement using traditional techniques, while range estimation demanded visual calculation methods that most soldiers had never learned. The aged Barrett required manual adjustment procedures that consumed time, while other team members completed their preparations using automated systems. Each scope setting demanded precise calculation based on environmental factors that contemporary weapons monitored continuously through integrated sensors. Radio chatter indicated growing impatience as team members waited for final position confirmations before beginning coordinated target engagement. The mission timeline demanded synchronized shooting that would prevent hostile forces from responding effectively to the initial attack. Sector 7, report status. Lieutenant Commander Hayes requested, his transmission carrying undertones of concern about timing delays that could compromise operational security. Sector 7 establishing position. Thorne responded, continuing her manual scope adjustments while observing target areas through backup optics. The response failed to include equipment status confirmation that other sectors had provided automatically. The omission prompted private communications between team members who interpreted her delayed status report as indication of equipment problems. Whispered conversations speculated about scope malfunctions or mechanical failures that newer weapons avoided through redundant systems. That she's already having zeroing problems. Sergeant Martinez transmitted on a side channel to Corporal Williams, confident that aging equipment would demonstrate predicted inadequacies under field conditions. Those old scopes drift constantly. Target movement detected in sectors 2 through 6. Technical Sergeant Shin reported, observing hostile personnel beginning daily routines that created engagement opportunities. Multiple high-value individuals moving through predictable patterns. The intelligence proved accurate as enemy personnel appeared in compound windows and elevated positions that offered clear shooting opportunities for properly equipped marksmen. Target acquisition became possible for soldiers whose equipment provided accurate range data and environmental compensation. Sector 1 ready for engagement, Corporal Jenkins confirmed, his modern rifle system displaying precise target information through integrated optics that eliminated guesswork from long-range shooting. First target acquired at 860 meters. Similar confirmations arrived from other sectors as soldiers acquired assigned targets using technological advantages that provided instant ballistic solutions. Automated systems calculated precise aiming points while compensating for wind, temperature, and atmosphere pressure variables. Sector 7 confirmed target acquisition. Hayes requested, noting that Thorne's sector contained primary objectives that required elimination before secondary targets could be engaged safely. Negative target acquisition. Thorne responded, continuing her manual range estimation procedures while hostile personnel moved through her sector's observation area. The aged equipment required additional time for precise calculation that automated systems provided instantly. The delay prompted concern from team members whose modern equipment had already solved ballistic problems that Thorne continued calculating manually. Her sector contained critical targets whose elimination would trigger the coordinated attack sequence. She's going to blow the whole timeline, Reynolds transmitted privately to his adjacent sector partner, observing target movement that created time-sensitive engagement opportunities. We can't wait all day for museum equipment to function. Atmospheric conditions began shifting as morning temperatures rose, creating wind pattern changes that affected ballistic calculations across all sectors. Modern rifle systems automatically adjusted for environmental variations, while older equipment required manual recalculation of trajectory factors. Thorne observed her assigned targets through the aged scope, noting movement patterns that indicated optimal engagement timing approaching within minutes. The manual calculations required precise correlation with current atmospheric conditions that demanded constant monitoring and adjustment. Multiple sectors report target acquisition complete. Hayes transmitted, reviewing status reports that showed 11 of 12 shooters ready for coordinated engagement. Mission timeline approaching critical threshold for synchronized attack initiation. The pressure mounted as team members waited for Sector 7 confirmation while observing time-sensitive targets that moved through predictable patterns. Delayed engagement could eliminate tactical advantages that intelligence preparation had identified and mission planning had incorporated. Wind conditions shifting, Technical Sergeant Shin reported, noting atmospheric changes that required scope adjustment across multiple sectors. Modern equipment automatically compensated for environmental variables, while manual systems demanded new calculations. Thorne completed her range estimation and began final scope adjustment procedures that contemporary rifles handled through computerized ballistic solutions. Each manual calculation required verification against current conditions that continued changing as morning progressed. The target complex showed increased activity as hostile personnel began daily routines that created multiple engagement opportunities. Intelligence reports had predicted this activity pattern, providing the tactical window that mission planners had designated for coordinated attack initiation. Sector 7 confirmed status. Hayes transmitted with increased urgency, observing mission timeline constraints that left minimal margin for equipment delays or calculation problems that could compromise operational success. Thorne continued her methodical preparation while team members grew increasingly impatient with delays that modern equipment would have eliminated. The aged Barrett demanded manual procedures that consumed precious time during critical engagement windows. The target complex erupted with activity as hostile personnel responded to intelligence reports about potential security threats in the surrounding area. Additional guards appeared at strategic positions, creating expanded target lists that required immediate tactical adjustment from all sector teams. Enemy reinforcements arriving, Technical Sergeant Shun reported, observing armed personnel taking defensive positions that complicated original engagement plans. Multiple new targets at elevated positions. Request permission to engage secondary objectives. The development transformed a controlled operation into a time-critical situation where delayed execution could eliminate tactical advantages and endanger mission success. Lieutenant Commander Hayes monitored radio traffic while calculating revised engagement sequences that addressed increased hostile presence. All sectors prepare for accelerated timeline, Hayes transmitted, recognizing that optimal engagement windows were narrowing rapidly as enemy forces implemented security measures. Coordinated attack initiation in 60 seconds. Confirm readiness status. 11 sectors reported immediate readiness confirmation using automated targeting systems that provided instant ballistic solutions for revised engagement parameters. Modern equipment adapted seamlessly to tactical changes while maintaining precision accuracy requirements. Sector 7. Confirmed target acquisition and readiness status. Hayes requested, noting that Thorn's sector contained primary objectives whose elimination remained essential for mission success despite tactical complications. Still calculating, Thorn responded, continuing her manual range estimation procedures while observing target movement that created constantly changing engagement parameters. The aged equipment demanded recalculation for each tactical adjustment that automated systems handled instantly. The delay prompted frustrated communications between team members who recognized time constraints that left minimal margin for equipment limitations. Private channels carry predictions about mission compromise due to antiquated rifle performance under pressure conditions. "She's going to cost us the whole operation," Sergeant Martinez transmitted to his adjacent sector partner, watching hostile personnel establish defensive positions that eliminated future engagement opportunities. "We should have expected this from someone using grandfather's equipment." Atmospheric conditions continued shifting as morning temperatures rose and wind patterns became increasingly unpredictable. Modern rifle systems automatically adjusted ballistic calculations, while older equipment required manual recalculation that consumed precious time during critical moments. Sector 1 through 6 ready for immediate engagement, Corporal Jenkins reported, his advanced optics providing precise target acquisition despite tactical complications. Requesting permission to initiate without Sector 7 if necessary. The suggestion reflected growing consensus among team members that mission success should not depend on equipment limitations that contemporary technology had eliminated. Modern warfare demanded reliable performance that aging systems could not guarantee under stress conditions. Enemy patrol detected approaching Sector 4 position, Staff Sergeant Reynolds reported, observing hostile movement that threatened operational security and demanded immediate tactical response. Request permission to engage patrol before compromise. The tactical situation deteriorated as enemy forces implemented security measures that reduced engagement opportunities while increasing detection risks. Time-sensitive decisions demanded immediate action that could not accommodate equipment delays or calculation problems. Hayes reviewed mission parameters while monitoring hostile activity that indicated growing awareness of potential threats. The operation required swift execution before enemy forces completed defensive preparations that would eliminate tactical advantages. 30 seconds to engagement initiation, Hayes announced, implementing accelerated timeline that addressed tactical realities while maintaining coordination requirements. All sectors confirm final readiness status. Sector confirmations arrived rapidly from 11 positions using automated systems that provided instant status updates. Modern equipment enabled immediate tactical adaptation, while older systems struggled with environmental variables and calculation requirements. Sector 7. Immediate status report required. Hayes transmitted with obvious urgency, Recognizing that mission timeline could not accommodate further delays from manual calculation procedures that contemporary rifles eliminated. Thorne completed her range estimation while observing targets that moved through sight lines, offering optimal engagement opportunities. The manual calculations demanded precision that automated systems provided instantly, but required verification against current atmospheric conditions. 10 seconds to engagement, Hayes announced, as hostile activity indicated approaching compromise of operational security. Mission initiation proceeding with or without Sector 7 confirmation. Team members prepared for coordinated engagement using technological advantages that guaranteed precision accuracy despite tactical complications. Modern rifle systems provided ballistic solutions that eliminated human error factors while maintaining first-shot success requirements. Enemy forces began implementing enhanced security measures that indicated growing awareness of external threats in the operational area. Additional personnel appeared at strategic positions while defensive preparations reduced target accessibility. Execute, 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 Hayes commanded, initiating coordinated attack sequence as tactical windows narrowed beyond acceptable limits. 11 sectors engaged assigned targets using automated systems that provided instant precision solutions. Suppressed rifle reports echoed across the terrain as modern weapons eliminated designated targets with technological precision that overcame environmental variables through computerized ballistic calculation. Integrated silencing systems minimized acoustic signatures while maintaining accuracy standards. Sector 7 not engaging, Technical Sergeant Chun observed, noting absence of rifle reports from Thorne's position while other sectors successfully eliminated assigned objectives. Equipment malfunction suspected. The observation prompted concern about primary target elimination that remained incomplete while secondary objectives fell to coordinated team engagement. Mission success required neutralization of all designated personnel within specific time parameters. Multiple targets eliminated in Sectors 1 through 6, Corporal Williams reported, confirming successful engagement using modern equipment that performed flawlessly under tactical pressure. Requesting sector assignment for remaining objectives. Hostile forces began responding to attack with defensive measures that indicated tactical awareness and professional training. Return fire originated from positions that had not appeared in reconnaissance imagery, suggesting prepared defensive capabilities. Enemy counterfire detected, Staff Sergeant Reynolds reported, observing muzzle flashes from concealed positions that targeted team locations with concerning accuracy. Recommend immediate displacement and tactical withdrawal. The tactical situation evolved rapidly as hostile forces demonstrated capability levels that exceeded intelligence estimates. Professional response indicated military training and equipment that posed significant threats to team security. Primary targets remain active in Sector 7, Hayes reported, noting critical objectives that required elimination for mission completion. Tactical situation deteriorating. Time constraints approaching critical threshold. Thorne continued her methodical preparation while team members engaged secondary targets using technological advantages that provided instant adaptation to tactical changes. The aged Barrett demanded manual procedures that consumed time during critical engagement windows. The compound erupted in coordinated defensive activity as hostile forces responded to the systematic elimination of perimeter guards. Professional military personnel moved with tactical precision that indicated extensive training and battlefield experience far exceeding intelligence estimates. Heavy weapons emplacement activating in the central courtyard. Technical Sergeant Shin reported, observing crew-served weapons deployment that posed immediate threats to team positions. Machine gun nest establishing interlocking fields of fire. The tactical development transformed mission parameters from precision elimination to survival engagement as enemy capabilities demonstrated preparation for external assault. Defensive positions appeared with coordination that suggested advanced planning and professional military leadership. All sectors prepare for immediate extraction, Lieutenant Commander Hayes commanded, recognizing tactical realities that exceeded operational planning assumptions. Mission objectives secondary to personnel survival and tactical withdrawal. Multiple sector teams acknowledged extraction orders while continuing suppressive fire against hostile positions that maintained accurate return fire. Modern equipment provided tactical advantages during withdrawal procedures, but extraction routes faced increasing enemy pressure. Sector 7 acknowledge extraction orders and provide position status. Hayes transmitted, noting that Thorne's location remained silent during critical coordination requirements. Immediate response required for extraction planning. Radio silence from Sector 7 prompted concern about equipment failure, injury, or compromise that could endanger extraction procedures. Team coordination demanded communication from all positions during tactical withdrawal under hostile fire. Enemy forces implementing coordinated counterattack. Staff Sergeant Reynolds reported, observing professional military movement that indicated command structure and tactical training. Multiple squads advancing on sector positions with supporting fire. The situation deteriorated as hostile personnel demonstrated capability levels that suggested regular military training rather than irregular forces intelligence reports had indicated. Coordinated movement and professional equipment posed significant threats to team survival. Request immediate air support. Corporal Jenkins transmitted, engaging multiple targets while observing enemy reinforcements arriving from concealed positions. Hostile force strength exceeding intelligence estimates by factor of 3. Hayes coordinated extraction procedures while monitoring tactical developments that threatened team security across multiple sectors. Radio traffic indicated equipment performance advantages of modern systems during high-stress combat operations. Sector 7, immediate position report required. Hayes commanded, implementing emergency communication protocols that demanded response regardless of tactical situation. Team extraction planning requires all position confirmations. The silence from Thorne's position created tactical complications for extraction procedures that required coordinated movement between sector teams. Unknown status endangered planning assumptions about available personnel and equipment capabilities. Primary targets still active in compound leadership building. Technical Sergeant Shin observed, noting mission objectives that remained incomplete while tactical situation demanded immediate withdrawal. High-value personnel maintaining command functions. The observation highlighted mission failure implications as critical objectives remained unaccomplished while team survival became primary concern. Tactical withdrawal without objective completion represented significant operational failure. Enemy mortar team positioning for indirect fire support, Corporal Williams reported, observing hostile weapons emplacement that indicated sophisticated military capabilities. Compound defensive preparations exceeding expectations. Indirect fire threats demanded immediate tactical displacement as enemy forces demonstrated professional artillery capabilities that posed extreme danger to static sniper positions. Team survival required rapid movement under increasingly dangerous conditions. All sectors initiate immediate displacement. Hayes ordered, recognizing that static positions faced elimination from indirect fire weapons that intelligence reports had not identified. Emergency extraction procedures taking priority over mission objectives. Modern rifle systems provided tactical advantages during movement as integrated technology eliminated manual procedures that older equipment demanded during displacement. Automated systems maintained operational capability while manual systems required recalibration. Sector 3 displacing under fire. Technical Sergeant Shen reported, moving through terrain that provided concealment while maintaining communication with extraction coordination. Equipment functioning optimally during tactical withdrawal. Similar reports arrived from multiple sectors as team members executed emergency procedures using technological advantages that simplified displacement requirements. Modern equipment adapted seamlessly to tactical changes while maintaining communication capabilities. Hostile forces advancing on multiple sector positions simultaneously. Staff Sergeant Reynolds observed, noting coordinated enemy movement that indicated professional military training and tactical communication. Organized assault developing. The tactical situation approached critical thresholds as enemy forces demonstrated capability levels that exceeded all intelligence estimates. Professional coordination suggested regular military units rather than irregular forces mission planning had assumed. Extraction helicopter inbound, requesting tactical situation update. Hayes transmitted coordinating air support that faced increasingly dangerous landing zone conditions. Hostile anti-aircraft capabilities unknown. Radio traffic indicated growing concern about Sector 7 status as extraction procedures required confirmation from all team positions. Unknown personnel status complicated planning assumptions about available team strength and equipment capabilities. Sector 7, Emergency Response Protocol, immediate acknowledgement required. Hayes commanded, implementing final communication attempts before assuming position compromise or equipment failure. Enemy forces began systematic assault on identified team positions using coordinated movement and supporting fire that indicated professional military training. Defensive capabilities exceeded intelligence preparation by significant margins. Multiple casualties reported among hostile forces, Corporal Jenkins confirmed, noting successful target elimination despite tactical complications. Modern equipment maintaining performance standards under combat stress. The engagement continued as team members fought tactical withdrawal while coordinating extraction procedures. Equipment performance differences became critical factors as manual systems demanded procedures that automated technology eliminated. Extraction landing zone under direct fire. Hayes reported observing tactical complications that threatened helicopter operations. Anti-aircraft weapons identified. Immediate suppression required. Primary mission objectives remained incomplete as tactical realities demanded personnel survival over objective completion. High-value targets continued directing enemy response from protected positions within the compound leadership building. Team extraction facing significant complications. Hayes transmitted coordinating emergency procedures while monitoring hostile activity that threatened all sector positions. Tactical situation exceeding operational planning parameters. The silence from Sector 7 continued, creating tactical complications for extraction coordination that required known personnel positions and equipment status. Unknown factors endangered team survival during critical withdrawal procedures. The compound's defensive response intensified as enemy commanders coordinated counterattack procedures that demonstrated professional military training and advanced tactical equipment. Heavy weapons positions provided overlapping fields of fire that trapped team members in exposed positions, while extraction helicopters faced increasingly dangerous approach corridors. Anti-aircraft missile launcher identified on the eastern tower. Technical Sergeant Chin reported, observing sophisticated weapons systems that intelligence reports had failed to detect. Extraction aircraft facing significant threat levels. The tactical revelation transformed extraction procedures from routine helicopter pickup to high-risk operation requiring suppression of advanced air defense systems. Enemy capabilities continued exceeding intelligence estimates, while team survival faced mounting challenges. All extraction aircraft maintaining safe distance pending threat neutralization. The helicopter pilot transmitted, recognizing tactical realities that prevented landing zone approach until anti-aircraft weapons received elimination. Team extraction delayed indefinitely. Lieutenant Commander Hayes coordinated emergency procedures while monitoring hostile activity that threatened team positions across multiple sectors. Radio traffic indicated equipment advantages of modern systems during sustained combat operations under extreme stress conditions. Enemy forces implementing sector-by-sector assault pattern. Staff Sergeant Reynolds reported, observing coordinated movement that indicated professional command structure and tactical communication. Systematic elimination of team positions approaching. The organized enemy response demonstrated military capabilities that suggested regular forces rather than irregular personnel mission planning had anticipated. Professional coordination and advanced equipment posed extreme threats to team survival during attempted extraction. Sector 4 position compromised. Corporal Jenkins transmitted while executing emergency displacement under direct fire. Equipment functioning during tactical withdrawal despite hostile pressure exceeding operational parameters. Modern rifle systems provided crucial advantages during movement as integrated technology maintained operational capability while manual systems required recalibration procedures that combat conditions prevented. Automated systems adapted seamlessly to tactical requirements. Primary target building showing increased activity. Technical Sergeant Chen observed, noting high-value personnel movement that indicated mission-critical objectives remained active despite tactical complications. Leadership coordination continuing from protected positions. The observation highlighted mission failure implications as critical objectives remained incomplete while team survival became paramount concern. Tactical withdrawal without objective completion represented significant operational failure with strategic consequences. Enemy mortar fire incoming, multiple sectors affected. Hayes announced as indirect fire weapons demonstrated sophisticated targeting capability that endangered all team positions simultaneously. Professional artillery support exceeding intelligence estimates. Explosion impacts throughout the operational area created additional tactical complications as hostile forces demonstrated indirect fire capabilities that intelligence preparation had not identified. Team positions faced systematic elimination from coordinated artillery support. Extraction helicopter requesting immediate threat suppression. The pilot transmitted, observing anti-aircraft systems that prevented landing zone approach, while team members faced mounting pressure from organized enemy assault. Air support capabilities limited. The tactical situation approached critical failure as enemy capabilities exceeded all operational planning assumptions. Professional military response indicated intelligence failures that endangered mission success and personnel survival. Sector 7 position status remains unknown, Hayes reported, noting continued radio silence from Thorne's location during critical coordination requirements. Personnel status affecting extraction planning and tactical decision-making. Unknown team member status complicated extraction procedures that required coordination between all sector positions. Missing personnel information endangered planning assumptions about available team strength and equipment capabilities during emergency withdrawal. Enemy advance elements approaching Sector 2 position. Technical Sergeant Chen transmitted while engaging hostile personnel using modern equipment that provided tactical advantages during sustained combat. Automated systems maintaining accuracy under pressure. Professional enemy movement indicated tactical training and communication that suggested regular military units rather than irregular forces mission intelligence had identified. Coordinated assault patterns posed extreme threats to static sniper positions. Multiple hostile squads advancing simultaneously on sector positions, Corporal Williams reported, observing organized movement that indicated command coordination and professional military training. Systematic assault pattern developing across operational area. The coordinated enemy response demonstrated capability levels that transformed mission parameters from precision operation to survival engagement. Professional military equipment and training posed challenges that exceeded operational planning assumptions. Ammunition status becoming critical across multiple sectors, Staff Sergeant Reynolds reported, noting consumption rates that exceeded mission planning assumptions during sustained combat operations. Resupply impossible under current tactical conditions. Equipment performance remained crucial as team members faced prolonged engagement using technological advantages that simplified ammunition management and tactical adaptation. Modern systems provided efficiency that older equipment could not match. Primary mission objectives require immediate completion, Hayes transmitted, recognizing tactical windows that narrowed rapidly as enemy forces implemented defensive measures. High-value target elimination essential for operational success. The mission directive highlighted conflicting priorities between personnel survival and objective completion as tactical realities demanded immediate decisions. Professional enemy response endangered both mission success and team survival. Anti-aircraft system maintaining active status, preventing extraction support, the helicopter pilot confirmed, observing sophisticated air defense that required elimination before landing zone approach. Team extraction impossible until threat neutralization. Enemy forces demonstrated professional military capabilities that indicated advanced preparation for external assault. Defensive coordination and advanced weapons systems suggested intelligence failures regarding hostile force composition and training levels. Sector 7 critical for mission completion, Hayes announced, noting that primary objectives remained in Thorne's assigned engagement zone while tactical situation deteriorated. Immediate response required for operational success. The tactical emphasis on Sector 7 highlighted mission dependencies that required performance from equipment and personnel facing extreme pressure. Unknown status endangered both objective completion and team coordination during critical moments. All sectors report current ammunition status and equipment condition, Hayes commanded, coordinating tactical assessment while monitoring hostile activity that threatened team positions. Resource management critical for continued operations. Team members provided status reports using modern communication systems that maintained functionality under combat stress, while older equipment faced reliability challenges. Technological advantages became crucial during sustained operations. Enemy reinforcements continuing to arrive, multiple vehicle columns approaching compound. Technical Sergeant Shun observed, noting tactical developments that indicated professional military response exceeding all intelligence estimates. Hostile force strength approaching overwhelming levels. The Eastern Tower's anti-aircraft missile system swiveled toward the circling extraction helicopter, its targeting radar painting the aircraft with electronic signatures that indicated imminent engagement. Professional enemy operators demonstrated training levels that suggested regular military personnel rather than irregular forces intelligence reports had described. Missile lock detected, extraction aircraft implementing evasive maneuvers, the helicopter pilot transmitted, banking sharply to avoid targeting solutions while maintaining communication with ground teams. Landing zone approach impossible until threat elimination. Lieutenant Commander Hayes monitored tactical developments that approached mission failure parameters as enemy capabilities continued exceeding operational planning assumptions. Team survival faced immediate threats while mission objectives remained incomplete. Enemy assault teams advancing on all sector positions simultaneously, Technical Sergeant Shin reported, observing coordinated movement that indicated professional command structure and tactical communication. Systematic elimination of team positions approaching critical threshold. The organized enemy response demonstrated military training that transformed tactical realities from manageable engagement to survival situation. Professional coordination and advanced equipment posed extreme challenges to team extraction and mission completion. Ammunition critically low across multiple sectors. Staff Sergeant Reynolds transmitted while engaging hostile personnel using modern equipment that provided efficiency advantages during sustained combat. Resupply impossible under current tactical conditions. Modern rifle systems maintained performance standards during prolonged engagement, while older equipment faced reliability challenges that combat stress amplified. Technological advantages became crucial factors during sustained operations under extreme pressure. Primary targets still directing enemy response from leadership building, Corporal Jenkins observed, noting high-value personnel coordination that indicated mission-critical objectives remained active. Elimination required for operational success. The observation highlighted mission dependencies that demanded immediate action while tactical situation deteriorated beyond acceptable parameters. Professional enemy leadership continued, coordinating defensive responses that endangered team survival. Sector 7. Immediate response required. Hayes commanded, implementing emergency communication protocols while monitoring hostile activity that threatened all team positions. Mission completion depends on primary target elimination. Radio silence from Thorne's position continued, creating tactical complications during critical mission phase. Unknown personnel status endangered coordination assumptions, while primary objectives remained unaccomplished. Enemy mortar teams adjusting fire patterns. Multiple sectors receiving indirect fire support. Technical Sergeant Chen reported, observing sophisticated artillery coordination that indicated professional military training. Systematic target elimination developing. Professional indirect fire capabilities demonstrated enemy training levels that exceeded intelligence estimates, while creating tactical challenges that threatened team positions across the operational area. Coordinated artillery support, endangered extraction procedures. Anti-aircraft system maintaining active engagement parameters, preventing helicopter approach, the pilot confirmed, observing sophisticated air defense that required immediate neutralization. Team extraction impossible until threat elimination. The tactical situation approached critical failure as enemy capabilities demonstrated preparation for external assault. Advanced weapons systems and professional coordination suggested intelligence failures regarding hostile force composition. All sectors prepare for emergency breakout procedures. Hayes announced, recognizing tactical realities that demanded immediate action despite mission objective status. Personnel survival taking priority over operational completion. Emergency procedures represented mission failure acknowledgement as tactical situation exceeded operational planning parameters. Team survival faced immediate threats while strategic objectives remained incomplete. Then the Eastern Tower erupted in spectacular explosion that eliminated the anti-aircraft threat while simultaneously neutralizing the command post directing enemy coordination. The massive detonation sent debris cascading across the compound courtyard as secondary explosions indicated ammunition storage destruction. What the hell was that? Sergeant Martinez transmitted, observing destruction that exceeded any weapon capability his team possessed. The explosion originated from impossible range with precision that suggested advanced targeting technology. A single rifle report echoed across the terrain from Sector 7's direction, the sound arriving seconds after the devastating impact that had eliminated multiple high-value targets simultaneously. The suppressed shot carried distinctive acoustic signature of heavy-caliber precision fire. The leadership building's top floor disintegrated as another massive impact eliminated remaining command personnel with surgical precision that defied explanation. Windows throughout the structure shattered, while interior fires indicated complete destruction of enemy coordination capabilities. Sector 7 engaging targets. Thorne's voice finally crackled through radio communications, her transmission carrying professional calm that contrasted sharply with tactical chaos throughout the operational area. Primary targets eliminated. She continued, her report indicating successful completion of mission objectives while team members struggled to comprehend tactical developments that had transformed certain failure into operational success. How is that possible? Technical Sergeant Chun transmitted, observing destruction that exceeded capabilities of any weapons system she recognized. The impacts suggested advanced targeting technology unavailable to conventional sniper teams. The compound's defensive coordination collapsed as enemy forces lost command structure and communication capabilities. Professional military response deteriorated into confused resistance as leadership elimination created tactical vacuum. Anti-aircraft threat neutralized, extraction approach cleared, the helicopter pilot confirmed, observing destruction that had eliminated sophisticated air defense systems with precision that suggested advanced technological capabilities. Enemy forces implementing withdrawal procedures. Staff Sergeant Reynolds reported, noting hostile movement that indicated tactical defeat following leadership elimination. Organized resistance collapsing throughout compound. The tactical transformation occurred within minutes as professional enemy coordination disappeared following surgical elimination of command personnel. Defensive capabilities collapsed while extraction opportunities improved dramatically. Mission objectives complete. All primary targets eliminated. Hayes announced, coordinating extraction procedures while monitoring tactical developments that had reversed operational failure into strategic success. Team members observed destruction that exceeded their equipment capabilities while questioning tactical reality that defied explanation. Professional enemy forces faced complete defeat through precision engagement that suggested advanced technological advantages. All sectors prepare for extraction, Hayes commanded, implementing withdrawal procedures as enemy resistance collapsed following systematic elimination of leadership and coordination capabilities. The helicopter approached landing zone through airspace, cleared by destruction that had eliminated sophisticated air defense systems with surgical precision. Enemy forces continued withdrawal, while tactical coordination remained impossible. The extraction helicopter settled onto the designated landing zone as team members emerged from concealed positions, their faces showing confusion and disbelief about tactical developments that had transformed certain mission failure into complete operational success. Dust clouds swirled around the aircraft, while soldiers approached with equipment that had proven inadequate compared to Sector 7's devastating performance. Sergeant Martinez reached the landing zone first, his modern rifle system appearing primitive compared to destruction that had eliminated sophisticated enemy positions with surgical precision. "That was impossible," he muttered to Corporal Williams, shaking his head while observing compound fires that continued burning where moments before professional military forces had coordinated defensive operations. Technical Sergeant Chun approached carrying her advanced optics and automated targeting systems, equipment that seemed obsolete following demonstration of capabilities that exceeded technological understanding. "No weapon in our inventory produces that kind of destruction," she announced to nearby team members who shared her bewilderment about tactical reality they had witnessed. Lieutenant Commander Hayes coordinated extraction procedures while monitoring radio traffic that confirmed complete enemy withdrawal following systematic elimination of command structure. Professional military forces had collapsed within minutes after losing leadership coordination that had directed sophisticated defensive responses. Staff Sergeant Reynolds examined compound damage through his scope, observing destruction patterns that indicated precision targeting beyond conventional sniper capabilities. The eastern tower showed complete structural failure, while the leadership building displayed surgical damage that had eliminated specific floors without affecting surrounding areas. "How did she calculate those shots?" Corporal Jenkins asked, reviewing engagement parameters that had demanded ballistic solutions exceeding human computational ability. Range estimation alone required technological assistance that manual systems couldn't provide under combat conditions. The aged Barrett had somehow produced results that modern rifle systems with computerized ballistic solutions couldn't match. Environmental compensation, trajectory calculation, and target acquisition had occurred through manual procedures that contemporary technology was designed to eliminate. Thorne approached the landing zone, carrying the museum peace rifle that had performed impossible feats during critical mission phases. Her equipment appeared unchanged despite delivering precision fire that had eliminated multiple hardened targets at ranges exceeding operational parameters. Extraction team members observed her approach with expressions that combined professional respect with technological confusion. The weapon she carried bore no resemblance to advanced systems they expected would be required for such devastating accuracy under combat stress. "That scope doesn't even have range-finding capability," Corporal Williams observed, noting optical equipment that lacked computerized features standard on contemporary sniper systems. Manual calculation shouldn't produce targeting solutions that precise. The helicopter crew chief reviewed mission reports while coordinating passenger loading that would return team members to debriefing facilities. Radio communications indicated complete mission success following tactical developments that had exceeded all operational planning assumptions. Enemy casualties include all primary targets plus command structure elimination. Hayes reported to headquarters, confirming objective completion while requesting technical analysis of engagement methods that had produced unprecedented tactical results. Thorne secured her equipment in the helicopter's cargo area, while team members continued discussing impossible ballistic performance they had witnessed. The aged rifle showed no modification or technological enhancement that could explain precision fire exceeding contemporary weapons capabilities. Master Sergeant Reeves monitored extraction procedures from command position while reviewing tactical reports that described engagement results exceeding theoretical possibilities. Standard ballistic calculations couldn't account for accuracy levels that had eliminated sophisticated targets under extreme range conditions. The compound continued burning as enemy forces completed withdrawal from positions that moments before had contained professional military personnel coordinating advanced defensive operations. Leadership elimination had created tactical vacuum that collapsed organized resistance instantly. Atmospheric conditions during engagement exceeded optimal parameters for long-range precision fire. Technical Sergeant Shun observed, noting environmental variables that should have prevented accurate targeting at documented ranges. Wind patterns and temperature variations demanded technological compensation. Modern rifle systems incorporated environmental monitoring that provided automatic ballistic adjustment, yet manual calculation had somehow produced superior results during critical engagement phases. The contradiction challenged understanding of contemporary targeting technology and human computational limitations. "How many shots total?" Staff Sergeant Reynolds asked, attempting to correlate destruction patterns with ammunition expenditure that should have required multiple precision rounds for each eliminated target. Thorne completed equipment stowage while team members gathered around seeking explanations for tactical performance that defied technological understanding. Her professional demeanor suggested routine completion of standard operational requirements rather than impossible demonstration of superhuman capability. The helicopter lifted off from landing zone as compound fires provided visible evidence of mission success that had transformed certain failure into complete operational victory. Smoke columns marked elimination of sophisticated enemy positions through precision engagement that exceeded theoretical possibilities. Radio communications indicated headquarters' confusion about engagement reports that described ballistic performance exceeding documented capabilities of assigned equipment. Technical analysis would be required to explain tactical results that challenged understanding of contemporary weapons technology. Enemy forces retreating from all positions, Hayes reported, observing tactical developments that had reversed professional military coordination into disorganized withdrawal following systematic leadership elimination. Defensive capabilities had collapsed within minutes of critical target engagement. Team members discussed impossible accuracy while reviewing engagement sequences that had eliminated multiple hardened positions through precision fire from extreme range. Manual targeting had somehow exceeded automated systems designed to eliminate human computational limitations. The aged Barrett remained secured in cargo area while soldiers debated technological possibilities that could explain tactical performance exceeding contemporary weapons capabilities. Equipment analysis would be required to determine modification or enhancement that enabled impossible precision. Extraction helicopter approaching base facility while crew monitored radio traffic that confirmed complete mission success following tactical developments that had exceeded all operational expectations. Debriefing procedures would attempt to explain engagement methods that challenged technological understanding. Target elimination confirmed through satellite imagery, headquarters transmitted, providing independent verification of destruction that had eliminated sophisticated enemy positions through precision engagement, exceeding theoretical capabilities of assigned weapon systems. The confirmation validated impossible tactical results while raising questions about equipment capabilities that had performed beyond documented specifications. Technical analysis would attempt to explain ballistic performance that defied contemporary understanding of sniper weapons technology and human computational limitations. The debriefing room buzzed with technical discussions as ballistics experts examined engagement data that challenged fundamental understanding of sniper weapons capabilities. Satellite imagery confirmed destruction that exceeded theoretical possibilities, while team members provided eyewitness accounts of impossible precision under combat conditions. Colonel Marcus Kane entered carrying classified files that contained analysis reports from weapons specialists who had reviewed tactical footage captured during the operation. His expression showed professional confusion about engagement results that defied explanation through conventional ballistic science. The Barrett M82 assigned to Sector 7 shows no technological modification or enhancement, Kane announced, reviewing technical inspection reports that documented standard specifications matching museum display pieces. Optical systems lack computerized targeting assistance that modern operations require. Team members observed Thorne sitting quietly in the corner while experts debated impossible performance from equipment they had dismissed as obsolete. Her professional demeanor suggested routine completion of standard assignments rather than demonstration of superhuman capabilities. Atmospheric conditions during engagement created environmental variables that should have prevented accurate targeting. Technical Sergeant Shin reported, providing meteorological data that documented wind patterns and temperature variations exceeding optimal parameters for precision fire. The environmental analysis indicated targeting conditions that demanded technological compensation beyond manual calculation capability. Contemporary rifle systems required automated ballistic solutions to maintain accuracy under documented atmospheric variables. Range estimation for primary target elimination exceeded 1,200 meters, Staff Sergeant Reynolds confirmed, noting engagement distances that demanded advanced optical systems for target acquisition and ballistic computation that manual procedures couldn't provide. Precision fire at documented ranges required technological assistance that the assigned weapon lacked completely. Manual targeting should have been impossible under operational conditions that challenged automated systems designed to eliminate human computational limitations. Sergeant Martinez approached Colonel Kane, carrying his own equipment reports that documented performance limitations of modern rifle systems during the same engagement. Sir, our automated targeting couldn't achieve half the accuracy we witnessed from Sector 7. The comparison highlighted performance disparities that challenged technological assumptions about contemporary weapons advantages over older systems. Manual calculation had somehow exceeded computerized ballistic solutions during critical engagement phases. Colonel Kane reviewed classified documentation while team members continued technical discussions about impossible tactical results they had witnessed. The files contained information that could explain engagement performance exceeding theoretical possibilities. Staff Sergeant Thorne, Kane called, his voice carrying undertones that suggested significant information about her background or capabilities. Please approach for individual debriefing regarding specialized equipment performance. The request drew attention from team members who expected technical explanations about weapon modifications or enhancement that could account for impossible precision under combat conditions. Equipment analysis had revealed no technological advantages over standard specifications. Thorne approached Kane's position while soldiers observed her movement with professional respect that had replaced earlier skepticism about her equipment choices. Her demonstration had transformed ridicule into recognition of capabilities exceeding technological understanding. Kane opened the classified file, while team members waited for explanations about specialized training or technological advantages that could account for ballistic performance beyond documented possibilities. The documents contained information that would resolve technical confusion about impossible tactical results. According to these records, Kane announced consulting documentation that contained background information previously classified above team clearance levels. Staff Sergeant Thorne holds specialized qualifications that weren't included in standard personnel files. The revelation prompted increased attention from team members who expected technical explanations about advanced training programs or experimental equipment that could explain precision fire exceeding contemporary weapons capabilities. Your operational call sign, Kane continued, reading from classified documentation that contained information about specialized assignments and capability ratings. Black Falcon. Absolute silence filled the debriefing room as team members processed identification that carried legendary status within military sniper communities. The call sign represented precision shooting capabilities that approached mythical levels among professional marksmen. Technical Sergeant Chin's equipment reports fell from her hands as professional recognition transformed confusion into understanding about tactical performance that had seemed impossible. Black Falcon represented the pinnacle of sniper achievement within classified operational circles. Sergeant Martinez sat heavily in his chair while calculating implications of serving alongside legendary precision shooter whose capabilities had become folklore within military communities. Equipment ridicule transformed into professional embarrassment about underestimating proven expertise. The Black Falcon, Staff Sergeant Reynolds repeated, his voice carrying reverence that reflected legendary status within sniper training programs. Multiple confirmed kills at ranges exceeding 1,500 meters using standard equipment. Professional recognition spread through the debriefing room as team members understood tactical performance they had witnessed represented documented capabilities rather than impossible demonstration. Legendary status explained precision that had seemed superhuman. Confirmed precision shooting record holder, Kane continued, consulting documentation that contained achievement records classified above standard personnel clearance levels. 47 confirmed eliminations at extreme range using manual targeting procedures. The statistical confirmation validated impossible tactical results while explaining equipment choices that had seemed inadequate for operational requirements. Legendary capabilities transformed museum peace rifle into precision instrument through expertise rather than technology. Olympic shooting team member before military service. Kane announced, providing background information that explained foundation training underlying legendary sniper capabilities. International competition experience at highest levels. Professional recognition transformed team understanding about equipment selections that had demonstrated superior performance over contemporary technological solutions. Expertise rather than technology had produced tactical results exceeding theoretical possibilities. Classified operational deployments in Afghanistan, Iraq, and Syria, Kane continued, documenting combat experience that had developed legendary capabilities through practical application under extreme conditions. Confirmed tactical results exceeding documentation requirements. The operational history explained precision shooting expertise that had produced impossible tactical results during critical mission phases. Legendary status represented documented achievement rather than technological advantage. Current assignment included equipment limitation testing. Kane revealed, noting experimental parameters that had required manual targeting procedures using aged equipment to validate human capability levels versus technological assistance. The revelation transformed equipment ridicule into professional recognition about experimental requirements that had tested fundamental assumptions about contemporary weapons technology versus human expertise capabilities. The debriefing room atmosphere transformed completely as team members processed the legendary identity that explained impossible tactical performance they had witnessed. Professional respect replaced skepticism while soldiers recalibrated their understanding of expertise versus technological dependence in contemporary military operations. Sergeant Martinez approached Thorne with obvious embarrassment about equipment ridicule that had targeted legendary capabilities beyond his comprehension. "Ma'am, I owe you an apology," he said, his voice carrying genuine remorse about professional judgment errors that had underestimated documented achievement levels. The acknowledgement represented complete reversal from dismissive predictions about museum equipment failure to recognition of expertise that exceeded technological solutions. Professional humility replaced arrogant confidence in automated systems versus human capability. Technical Sergeant Chun examined her own advanced equipment while considering performance limitations that had become apparent during comparison with manual targeting procedures. All our computerized systems combined couldn't match what you accomplished with manual calculation, she admitted, shaking her head at technological assumptions that had proven inadequate. The recognition highlighted fundamental questions about military dependence on automated solutions versus development of human expertise that legendary performance had demonstrated. Contemporary training emphasized technological proficiency over foundational skills that Black Falcon represented. Staff Sergeant Reynolds approached carrying range estimation tools that had failed to provide accuracy matching manual calculations performed under combat stress. Your targeting precision exceeded our best automated systems by factors we couldn't measure, he confirmed, reviewing engagement data that documented impossible performance levels. Professional acknowledgement spread throughout the team as soldiers recognized capability demonstration that challenged fundamental assumptions about contemporary weapons technology versus human expertise development. Legendary status represented achievement levels that automated systems couldn't replicate. Colonel Kane reviewed mission reports while observing team recognition that transformed professional dynamics through demonstrated superiority of expertise over technological dependence. The experimental parameters had validated human capability potential that modern training programs had abandoned. Lieutenant Commander Hayes approached Thorne with obvious respect that replaced earlier concerns about equipment adequacy for mission requirements. Your performance saved the entire operation when our modern systems failed under pressure, he acknowledged, recognizing tactical reality that had reversed certain mission failure. The professional recognition represented complete transformation from authority skepticism about outdated equipment to acknowledgement of legendary capabilities that exceeded contemporary technological solutions. Expertise demonstration had validated alternative approaches to precision shooting requirements. Corporal Jenkins examined his own rifle systems while calculating performance disparities that had become apparent during tactical comparison. We were using training wheels while you were demonstrating actual capability, he observed, recognizing technological dependence that had limited rather than enhanced precision shooting development. Professional understanding evolved as team members recognized expertise demonstration that challenged military training assumptions about equipment versus capability development. Legendary performance had illustrated potential that automated systems actually prevented rather than enabled. The aged Barrett remained secured in equipment storage while representing achievement that exceeded contemporary weapons technology through human expertise rather than technological advancement. Museum Peace had become precision instrument through legendary capability application. Master Sergeant Reeves entered carrying commendation paperwork that documented exceptional performance during critical mission phases. The Black Falcon legend continues, she announced, recognizing tactical achievement that had transformed operational failure into strategic success. Professional recognition validated legendary status through documented performance that exceeded theoretical possibilities using standard equipment. Achievement demonstration had proven expertise capabilities that challenged contemporary military training assumptions about technological dependence. Thorne accepted team recognition with professional modesty that characterized legendary performers who understood capability development requiring dedication beyond technological shortcuts. Her expertise represented foundation training that contemporary programs had eliminated in favor of automated solutions. Before we wrap up this incredible story, drop a comment and let us know what resonated most with you about Thorne's demonstration, or share if you've witnessed similar moments where someone's hidden expertise completely transformed a situation. The team's transformation reflected broader military questions about technological dependence versus human capability development that legendary performance had highlighted. Black Falcon represented achievement levels that challenged fundamental training assumptions about contemporary weapons technology. Colonel Kane documented experimental results that would influence future training programs, emphasizing expertise development over technological dependence. The performance demonstration had validated human potential that automated systems had obscured rather than enhanced. Equipment analysis confirmed that legendary capabilities had transformed standard specifications into precision instruments through expertise application rather than technological modification. Achievement had resulted from training dedication rather than equipment advantages. Professional respect spread throughout military community as mission reports documented performance that challenged contemporary assumptions about automated targeting versus human expertise development. Legendary status represented achievement potential that modern training had abandoned. Team members departed debriefing with transformed understanding about capability development that emphasized expertise over technological dependence. Black Falcon demonstration had illustrated human potential that contemporary programs failed to recognize or develop. The aged Barrett returned to armory storage while representing possibility that expertise could transform any equipment into precision instrument through dedicated training and capability development. Museum Peace had demonstrated performance exceeding contemporary technological solutions. Thorne's legend continued growing as mission reports documented achievement that challenged military training assumptions about technological dependence versus human expertise development. Professional recognition validated alternative approaches to precision shooting requirements. Training programs began incorporating Black Falcon methodology that emphasized manual calculation and foundational skills rather than automated system dependence. Legendary performance had demonstrated capability potential that contemporary technology actually prevented rather than enabled. The transformation extended beyond individual recognition to broader military understanding about expertise versus technological solutions in professional development. Black Falcon represented achievement levels that challenged fundamental assumptions about contemporary training effectiveness and human potential in precision shooting disciplines.